What a way to start an NBA career, Keith. What a way to start the 2025-2026 campaign. And for VJ Edgecombe to drop 34 points, Tyrese Maxey to drop in 40, and of course, get the win over the Boston Celtics. I'm excited. Everyone's excited. Let's jump into it. Locked On 76ers, Keith Pompey, Marc Farzetta.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And we do thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Keith, people want to talk about your 10-9-8 76ers. Everybody wants to get into it right now. M's just saying VJ, a dog, woof, woof, in the good way, I assume. Also, Peter saying, let's get it. Getting after the 76ers as well as what they were able to do in last night's win. Keith, I think I could boil it down to the last time I was this excited to watch the 76ers. And it really was in that first quarter, watching things come together with VJ Edgecombe going off and all that stuff. I think it was the Ben Simmons alley-oop to Joel Embiid in Game 6 of the second round of the playoffs against the Hawks, when you knew the Sixers came alive in that second half against the Hawks after a rough first half. I was really excited. That was taken away, obviously, by what happened in Game 7. But this game last night was is the first time since then I've been this edge of my seat excited about watching the Sixers play, and it's all thanks to VJ Edgecombe. It's thanks to Tyrese Maxey. It's thanks to a willing Joel Embiid to work out some kinks through 20 minutes. Nick Nurse putting all this together, acknowledging the best brand of basketball that this roster can play right now. I'm excited. Could you feel it amongst the team last night in Boston?
Yeah, I guess you could feel it. I mean, like, it wasn't like, you felt it. I mean, you felt it afterwards. I mean, here's the thing. It's kind of like what they were saying. Now, I'm just going to say this. So, and I think we talked about it yesterday for a little bit. I go to shoot around and I go up to VJ and I'm like, dude, you have any butterflies? What's good? Like, you on the phone with people? And the guy was just like, nah, man, I got more than 8 hours of sleep. I'm good. It's just a regular game. And you're like, all right, Rook, when you get in here tonight, you're going to realize it's not a regular game when you in the Garden, right? TD Garden. And he was just unflappable. I mean, here's the thing, dude. I'm looking at this guy, and I know it was one game, and I don't think the Boston Celtics are going to be very good this year. I just don't. But I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, this guy is way better than what I thought. Like, this dude is real deal. Like, it was just to a point. Like, I'm watching him bring the ball up. I'm watching him, his explosion. The one thing that I really loved to see was he was going at dudes. It wasn't like he was timid. It wasn't like, I'm trying to make a mark on you. It was like, dude, I am this guy already. And I don't care who it is. He was going after Jaylen Brown. He was going after Derek White. Like, he was doing all that you needed to see from him. And then Maxey, the way they were playing off of each other. You got to give them credits. You got to give them props. That was the third best debut in NBA history of all time. He had the most points in the first quarter for a guy making a debut of all time. So 34 points, 14 in the quarter. He scored 13 of their last 16 points in the first quarter. He was balling, man, I'm telling you. So, you know what? You got to give him props. You got to give him his flowers. You have to.
Yeah, and you mentioned that some of the historic numbers there. For those that haven't seen it yet, 34 points, the third most all-time in an NBA debut, as you mentioned. Frank Selvey did it in 1954. Wilt Chamberlain, Frank Selvey had 35 points in 1954. Wilt Chamberlain had 43 points in 1959. So that's some great company right there to be, just one removed from Wilt Chamberlain all time on debut in NBA history, not franchise history, not Sixers history, NBA history. And then you mentioned the numbers in the first quarter, coming out and scoring the 14 points. LeBron had 12. So VJ Edgecombe obviously going to have a better career than LeBron James. So I think it's pretty much proofs in the pudding. No, but VJ was very humble after the game. And Keith, I want to play this for you because you put this out on social media, so I clipped it. Here's you ask VJ Edgecombe the question about those historic numbers, and you were the one to tell him about how much of an accomplishment it was the night he just had.
If you know this, but you scored the third most points in NBA history on a guy making their NBA debut. Yeah, like Will Chamberlain, some other dude, and then you.
And me?
Yeah, and then you. So I mean, just talk about tonight's performance.
Man, from the team standpoint, got the win, which mattered the most. Saying all the points, like I said, it's gonna come. It's basketball at the end of the day. Like I've been saying, it's just basketball. Try not to overthink it. You know, I've been putting in the reps, been putting in the work. My teammates been trusting me. I trust my teammates. So, I mean, you know, I was blessed to, you know, be in this position on the big stage in Boston and perform.
Yeah, boy, did he perform. Here's what I loved about that, Keith. First off, the facial expression of being excited that you just had this historic night. Second, what was the first thing he said to you? He said the team. When you talk about the night you had, hey, how about the team? That was the first thing he went to.
Yeah. And that was, you know, and I like that. But at the time I was like, bro, we talking about you though. Like, but I kind of like it. I mean, I like it. It's like, you know, I see the team, you know, the team, this and that. But I, you know, want to talk about you. But then, you know, he even went on for, and then we said, yeah, but what about, you know, the Wilt and LeBron being in that same category? And, you know, he said, you know, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know what I mean? So he's a good kid, man. I really like him, man. I do. I like him, but I love his confidence. But it's not a cockiness, it's a confidence. And the fact that he did that, I mean, dude, it's funny. The crazy part that Marc, that you need to know is like after the game. So Tyrese Maxey calls him 77, right? So then he was like, yeah, 77. And I'm gonna be honest. So I'm gonna be honest. During pregame warmups, VJ was out there working out, and he was like attempting threes. They were doing stuff, blitzing, trying to get the ball, this and that. And for a while, he was struggling on that 3-point shot, like struggling to consistently make it, those shots. And when you see a guy do that, sometimes you think, okay, when the game's going to come, he's going to shy away, right? He's going to shy away. And people, they know the scouting report. The scouting report is like the guy can't shoot. Well, they were leaving him wide open. He attempted 13 threes, right? And when he needed to make them, he made them. Like he was clutch when he needed to make them. And to me, and Tyrese Maxey talked about that. Like he was like, look, man, he wasn't scared of the moment. He wasn't scared to knock down these shots. He wasn't like, you know, they were catch and shoot wide open threes. Guys were closing out at times, but he did what he had to do. Then he joked and said, yeah, but he was scared to shoot those foul shots. Because remember, he had 2 foul shots like late in the game that probably would have iced it for him. But, you know, I'm here to tell you, like, to me, I love seeing that because I was watching them. And a lot of times when you see guys miss shots, you don't want to post that video, like when they miss a whole bunch of them, because you don't want to embarrass the kid, right? Yeah. So, like, you know what I mean? This and that. So I didn't, but the fact that I saw him go out there and step up in the game time in Boston and do that. He's the one to me. Like seriously, everything that people told me about. Now I'm gonna tell you this: an executive texted me last night, and before I kept saying that, you know, and again it's still early, but I kept saying that, you know, they got to go after, you know, the guy who went to I forget my man's name.
Ace Bailey?
Ace Bailey. I said forget his name. I said they got to go after Ace Bailey. And the executive kept saying, Keith, you're wrong. You're wrong, man. You don't got it. So after the game, he texted me and said, do you see what I'm saying now? And I was like, sure do. I had an emoji. Yeah. Sure do. You know what I mean? Like, yo, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Here's the thought that came to mind last night. Ready-made man. He's a ready-made man. He's not a guy that's like, I hope I can help the team. No, he came in here, man, and he dominated in that first quarter. He helped the Sixers close it out in that fourth quarter. And all the while, he was playing some solid defense. There was some overall defensive miscommunications, I think, to say the least, throughout that game. Yeah, but that even from veterans, like, wait, whose guy was that? You know, that kind of thing. There was one instance of, I think it was Barlow and Grimes pointing at each other, like their heads were spinning. It was crazy. But all from VJ, he played like he was a 10-year vet. I'll use that expression. He had the slam on Jaylen Brown. Now, I won't quite call it a poster, but close to it, that powerful jam. And he kind of heard the crowd at the time go, ooh, which I thought was really cool to hear all of Boston make that sound. He knocked down some threes there. He shot 5 of 9 in the first quarter. He was 3 of 6 from 3 in the first quarter, playing about 11 and a half minutes to start things off there. That was one hell of a way to start off a career. And then the game unfolded as well to the tune of 34 points. I just can't get over seeing his athleticism soar to heights that I didn't even expect. Like, we knew what a great athlete he was. To see him knock down threes the way he did, to see his shot selection be very confident, I'll call it that. And then the willingness to set up his teammates as well and the opportunity to do that. Yeah, sure. You can. I know people will look at the foul shots at the end of the game. Look, 34 points is 34 points. Doing everything else he was able to do in his debut. Yeah, it would have been nice to see him hit 1 of 2. And fortunately, on the defensive end of things, the Sixers were able to lock things down. Everything I saw from him last night, I was just very impressed at the mindset maturity of this guy. Where when Jabari Walker was talking about at practice the other day, it's like you have to remind yourself that he's a rookie because he does not act like a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He does not act like a rookie. I mean, here's the thing. Like, you know, when we talk about it, we talk about VJ Edgecombe, right? You know, when VJ Edgecombe cried, when he cried on draft night, and he was saying like, "Yo, you know what? You know, we used to live on a generator.
Yeah,
you know, we did this, we did that." And sometimes some people might look at it and say, "Wow, but you know, wow, this guy is doing this and doing that, and like, is it for show? If it's for this and that?" Nah, like that was real problems. Like, you know, when we talk about he has confidence and stuff like that, to him, this is just basketball. I mean, we're talking about a dude. We're not talking about a guy who grew up in Montgomery County and said, you know what? I want to play for an elite basketball team or football team or Delaware and say, I'm going to go to St. Joe's Prep for football, or I'm going to go to MOTEP Charter, or I'm going to go to Roman Catholic, or I'm going to go somewhere else for basketball. Nah, we're talking about a brother from the Bahamas who moved to Florida, right? And then from Florida, he moved to New York to follow his dream. And then, so when we talk about him, like, you know, and I'm not saying it's life or death, but it's all about changing your family's fortune. And so when we talk about him being mature and doing all this other stuff, it's like, dog, he don't want to go back to the generator. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't.
Keith,
so, like, he's going to do whatever he can. Huh?
I absolutely know what you're saying, because I can't tell you how many times last night I was like, I should have seen more of this. I should have seen more of this coming. Not that I would have ever predicted a 34-point game for a rookie, but you talk about the generator. I was thinking about that throughout the game. And I'm like, this, of course, the guy that was raised on a generator is out there balling like this, like VJ Generator, man. Now he is a generator. That's what I was thinking throughout the game, watching him just fly around out there and also be on the same page as Tyrese Maxey as much as he was throughout last night's game. But no, you think about the upbringing, and that absolutely factors into the man that's playing on the court. And I know it's a debut. I know it's one game. I know Jason Tatum didn't play, as you were saying. We all were judging all of this under that general umbrella. But, man, he looked like a guy that just wanted it more than anybody else. And, yeah, you mentioned the crying. He's in it. And I also loved him talking about how, like, I don't watch shows on Netflix. I watch basketball. And when I'm done watching basketball, I find more basketball, and I just keep watching basketball. Like, that's a guy who is 1,000%.
Dude, it's life, man. It's his life, dude. I mean, think about this, man. That's like, I mean, that's real stuff, dude. It ain't even like a kid going to Mount Verde Academy or IMG. We're talking about a different country to upgrade stuff. You know what I mean? And like, they're hard worker, dude. Hard worker. Like, I'm telling you, I respect him. Now, I'm going to tell you this, though. We're going to talk about Maxey in the second one, but Maxey was balling too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Balling too.
Yeah. We have to start out with the new toy, though. We have to start out with VJ, and then we'll get to Maxey.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. He was the truth last night as well. One more thing, because I know you talked about this with him last night in Boston as well. And by the way, how about this, Locked On audience? Keith flies back, gets right back from the airport from Boston this morning, sits right down, does Locked On 76ers to bring you people all the wonderful takes and all the good inside information from the locker room after the game. Keith, one last thing that I know you were talking to VJ Edgecombe about last night. It was about that Bohemian national team and where the confidence comes from and the comfortability to be around, grown men playing the game. And he's like, yeah, the Bohemian national team was great, but I didn't have Tyrese Maxey on that team. I didn't have Joel Embiid on that team. And when Joel Embiid's up and running 100%, we're going to look a little bit different. But being able to play with that kind of confidence, with an uptick of talent, obviously, you saw how high VJ Edgecombe could fly in that situation.
Yeah. But the one thing he wasn't saying is he did have Klay Thompson on that team.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, I mean, the thing is, and I get it. And I'm like, bruh, you had Klay Thompson, who, in my opinion, is a great mentor for him, right? For him. Like, yo, I mean.
Yeah, they played together in the summer, too.
Yeah, and Buddy Hield, you think about this. We know that he's struggling as a shooter right now. He looked okay last night. But when you talk about, you got Buddy Hield and Klay Thompson as your mentors, and you work out with those guys in the summer and the off season, and not only that, Eric Gordon too, dude, it's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come for him. And if it does come, he's going to be unstoppable. Seriously.
By the way, I agree. By the way, I do want to give our man, what was his name? Frank Selvey. I want to give him his props because he scored the second most points in an NBA debut in 1954. That was for the Milwaukee Hawks.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. And that was right before he was, I believe, traded to the Baltimore Bullets.
Okay, I got to ask you a trivia question. Where's Frank from?
Where's Frank from?
Yeah. Where he's
Alney? I don't know.
No. Now, he's from a town called Summerville, South Carolina, like in the suburbs of Charleston. And they're known for producing football players. They had a football coach who was the coach there for like over 45 years, McKissick. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he might have coached him.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did Selvey hang out at Pompey Park?
No, that's not in the Pompey Park. That's not there. That's in the Bahamas. But they also have one in Fort Lauderdale. But listen, where they do is, you're going to laugh at this, is the Applebee's in Somerville that people like hang out at. Like, a couple of people I know. Yeah, so it's crazy. But the reason why I bring that up, because that is there's a lot of guys who went on to the NFL from Somerville, South Carolina. It's more of a football city.
Fair enough. All right, now it's going to be Keith's favorite part of the program, where I do live reads. And I know Keith's going to enjoy the second live read today and the third live read, but that's not yet. We'll get to the first two right now. When we come back, we'll talk about Tyrese Maxey's big night, as well as the Sixers start out the season 1-0. And of the rookies, of course, VJ Edgecombe has the biggest night. Ace Bailey, 2 points last night. That Cooper Flagg guy, that character out there in Dallas, 10 points last night. VJ Edgecombe blowing them all away. Talk about Maxey when we return. This is Locked On 76ers and Locked On Sixers YouTube channel. Right now, let me tell you about Mint Mobile. Why are you wasting money on your wireless provider? Still overpaying for wireless? It's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no outages, no hidden fees, no overages, that is. No BS. So I said yes and made the switch. Getting premium wireless right now for just $15 a month. You're welcome. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone over and keep your same number and contacts. That's one of the things I love so much about Mint Mobile. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch to mintmobile.com. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time. New customer offer for just 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabyte on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Now let me tell you about Rugiet. Yeah, that's right. Rugiet. You've heard us talking about it before. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've heard all of them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. It happens to anyone from time to time. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started, as a matter of fact, and also it'll ship to your door in a discreet package. So you keep your business before the business. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and all is handled by real doctors. Visit Rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget to use the promo code LockedOnNBA so they know that we sent you. Rugiet. Stop making excuses. Start making moves. Yeah, that's right.
Nah, it's funny. I like the part you keep your business.
That was totally ad-lib. That's not on the script.
Yeah,
that just hit me in the moment.
I think I was like, yeah, you keep your business. Okay. All
This
right.
is live. We're live, folks. We're live.
Yeah.
So my friend, Tyrese Maxey. There's no way to transition out of it other than just doing it. So follow me here on the sharp right turn. Tyrese Maxey last night. We talked in the offseason about giving him the keys to the Cadillac, right? Joel Embiid, obviously 20 minutes last night, 4 points. Talk about more on him in a second. But Tyrese Maxey, second quarter, he just unloads, Keith. He looks every bit of an all-star worthy player. He's hitting threes. He's off to be 7 of 9 from beyond the arc last night in total. He's running the offense. He's the number one guy. He's going hard to the rim. He's not getting foul calls. He's getting a couple foul calls. He's arguing with officials. Kyle Lowry's got to get involved. He was incredible last night. When you think about this 40-point performance from Tyrese Maxey last night, what jumped out to you about it?
You know what jumped out to me? And I don't condone this, people, so don't say anything. But what happened is VJ Edgecombe finished the quarter scoring 13 of the final 16 points in the first quarter, right? Mm-hmm. So Tyrese Maxey came out in the second quarter and told VJ, hold my beer. This is hold my beer. The brother man went out there and scored 19 points in the second quarter on 7 for 10 shooting. 19. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where in the first quarter, I'm saying to myself, like early on, like I saw we're going to share the ball. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I'm saying to myself, look, y'all got to find a way to get somebody involved. You have to get Tyrese Maxey involved. But when VJ stepped up, I said to myself, okay, he has the initiative. But Tyrese Maxey came out and was on fire, dude. I mean, he had a couple steals. He had one steal. It was crazy because it was like they were trying to do a pass. He cuts in front of the ball and then goes the opposite way. And I'm saying to myself, like, okay, I see it now. I see it. But you know what? Typically what you want to do is like, all right, you don't want like one guy, okay, you got the first quarter, the second guy, you got the second quarter. You want both of them to be baking at the same time. So that way it's like, okay, we got to pick our poison, so to speak. Yeah. But it worked well. It worked well last night. And then in the second half, it was more well-rounded. But Tyrese Maxey is lightning quick. I mean, we talk about dog, right? We talk about that. Edgecombe has that. But having Edgecombe around really helps Maxey. I mean, because when we look at it, it's like, Maxey is lightning quick. He's extremely athletic, right? I don't think he's as athletic as Edgecombe, but I don't think there's a lot of people as athletic as Edgecombe. But I don't think Edgecombe is as fast as Maxey, right? So, they got that. But I feel like it becomes, I'm not trying to say a competition, but their play elevates the others. You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? It sets the bar. So it's not like, I got to outdo this guy. No, it's like, okay, bro, you said it's time to play. Well, it's time to play. Let's get it. And I really enjoyed it. But Maxey, you know what? You're right. 7 for 9 on threes. He was in the second quarter, he was 7 for 10. He made both of his threes. He played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, they one of the thoughts I had going through last night, because it's not like, look, scoring 14 points every quarter is not going to be a thing. All right, that'd be nice, but I doubt it. So the switch off of one hitting high gear, the next kind of being more of a supporter, then switching off as the game goes on, that makes a little bit more sense to me if they can keep something close to this up. I'm not saying 40 and 34 every night, but just being consistent scores. And the 3-point shooting from VJ, I don't think it's arrived. It's a great first game, but we could, hopefully this is more of what we see from him throughout his career. 7 for 9 is not going to be the norm for Tyrese Maxey either, but we'll see how it develops. But if they can find a way to feed off each other, I liken it to starting pitchers in baseball. When you have a great rotation, one guy has a great game, guess what? The next guy, he's even more motivated to have a great game. He wants to continue the momentum. That's the way I think these guys played off each other last night. Plus, there seemed to be a natural feel for when it was their time to take it. I think it was a very natural, not like a deliberate thing. I think certainly in that second half, I think you make a good point. Maxey saw VJ in the first half or first quarter and went, okay, my turn. Tag me in. And then he took off in that quarter. And you mentioned the fast break dunk that he got out of that. That was great. It was about 1:30 into it. Gave the Sixers a 4-point lead at that point. A little bit later on, he has that step back jumper that I forget, it might have been Derek White. I forget who it was, but man, he looked like he was trying to play on ice. Just whoop, 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 just spinning his tires, falling backwards. And then you see VJ come out there again, gets another layup. Sixers have a 7-0 run. And Maxey's 19th point of the quarter, 18th and 19th points of the quarter, I think that helped the Sixers cap off a 23-11 run in the quarter. Like, they were just cooking, and Tyrese Maxey was lighting the fire.
Oh, definitely. He was lighting the fire. Now, here's the thing. And I'm trying to say to myself, and like, again, it's just one game, but when you look at a backcourt, and again, you look at a backcourt and you ask yourself, have you seen a backcourt that has guys this quick, this athletic? I mean, I haven't. I don't know if there's. There may be. In Oklahoma City, these guys are athletic, right? But I don't know if there's two guards in the game right now that's as athletic as a unit as these two, and they're fast, man. And like, you know what? Like Nick Nurse, everybody's saying, yeah, Nick Nurse, he was a great guy for changing the offense. Now he was. But at the same time, if he didn't change the offense, then we would probably say, hey, Nick, man, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, you got these Ferraris out here, and you trying to do, like, monster mass truck. Nah, bro, that ain't happening. Like, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, This ain't the truck race. This is like, this is Formula One. Let's get out there and go. So, to me, when I look at it, I have to say that, these two guys are great, man. They're fast, man. Like, they're quick. I mean, dude, it was weird. It was when Tyrese Maxey got that steal, one of the steals, if he didn't get it, VJ Edgecombe was going to get it. And they were the only two people near the ball. And it was just crazy, man. It's crazy.
It was a lot of fun, man. It was, again, there was one time somebody this morning on another show said to me it was the most excited they've been about the Sixers since Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue, and I'm like, I've had other moments.
The most exciting, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I got to go back to it. That alley-oop in Game 6 against the Hawks, I thought, Sixers are going to make it. Sixers are going to go to Game 7. They're going to win Game 7. It's going to be great. That was the last time I thought good things are coming for the 76ers beyond the second round. This is making me feel very good about the near future of the 76ers. Now, another guy that's going to have an impact on that, obviously, is Joel Embiid. We'll examine his night. Keith, you get your thoughts on that. Also, something specific happened in the third quarter that I'm just not used to seeing with the Joel Embiid Sixers team. So we'll talk about that when we return. And if you like that first ad break, you'll love this one as well. This is Locked On 76ers on the Locked On Sixers YouTube channel. Back after this. Now it's time to tell you about Skims. Shop Skims, shop men's Skims at skims.com. Looking for comfortable underwear, breathable underwear? When I found about Skims making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I thought, let me give this a shot. Always had an issue finding a right comfortable pair. Whatever you like, Skims has got you. Tried Skims. Boxer brief, for instance. Yeah, you're welcome now that you know that. And now I'm hooked. Got to tell you. These are the perfect style for my lifestyle. Sitting around doing nothing. For me and watching sports, obviously. They absolutely are fantastic. So comfortable. They don't lose their shape. They stay in place all day, which is very important, whether I'm working out, which doesn't really happen, or just running errands, which happens a lot. They're the most comfortable and reliable underwear you've ever owned. Skims, skims.com. Plus lightweight material. Feels amazing. Almost like you're wearing nothing at all. Again, you're welcome. So try Skims by shopping Skims Men's at skims.com. That's Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know that we sent you as well from Locked On 76ers at skims.com. Once again, Locked On 76ers got a whole lot sexier, Keith.
Joe, see, you're funny, man, because I'm trying not to say anything. Because, I'm trying to not to say anything. Whole lot sexier.
Yeah. I learned a lot from my dear friend Trey Thomas. Let me say that. I want to get some loose change from last night, but I also want to get into Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
I want to talk about Dominic Barlow as well. I know you want to talk about him also. But just as far as Joel Embiid went last night, 20 minutes, 4 points, 6 rebounds. 6 rebounds, 2 assists. What'd you make of Joel Embiid last night?
I thought he had a rough game, dude. It was rough.
Nick Nurse used the term rusty.
Yeah, but what else is Nick going to say?
Yeah,
this is what Nick said. I'm super happy that he was out there.
Yes.
I think he played good. I know that he's going to I know that's going to sound silly. 1 for 9. He just didn't shoot it very well. I thought he transferred the ball well. I thought he made some good decisions. I thought he took good shots. I thought he protected the rim. So again, he hasn't done much. He's kind of played in the scrimmage in a preseason game. I think there's some rust there, but I thought he's moving good and he made good decisions. Well, while Nick raved about Embiid, Joel didn't show a lot of lateral movement on defense. He rarely jumped to contest shots or go after rebounds. In the fourth quarter earlier and late in the third, he tried a little bit. And the thing is, what Embiid is doing is he was basically resorting to using his massive frame, 7'2", 280, to overpower opponents in the post, right? He was also clogging up everything on offense. So with Joel right now, he has to either roll hard to the basket or launch 3-pointers from the top of the key. And when he doesn't do that, the offense stalls, and the Sixers came away with bad possessions. Now, I know he was on a minutes restriction, right? And he came out of the game with 9 minutes and some change left.
Yeah, 9-18.
But they went on a run, dude, without him. Mm-hmm. They did. They went on a run. And again, the big question right now we got to ask ourselves is is a difference from playing, and the Boston Celtics centers aren't exactly, they're not, they're a step down from the guys they had last year, but they're actual bodies, right? compared to the guys that they played against in the Minnesota preseason game. But the question is, we got to ask ourselves, is this the player that Joel Embiid is becoming?
Sure.
Or is it just a matter of him getting back into his groove after being sidelined since February? The Sixers feel like he just needs to get back into his groove, but I didn't really like what I saw from him last night. I just didn't.
Yeah. Anyone look, Nick Nurse told you everything in his first statement when he answered the question, and it was, I was happy he was out there. So that tells me he's a participant. That's all it tells me. He showed up to school. He didn't get in the honors program. He's not getting a scholarship, but he showed up to school. So 90% of success is just showing up. But it's the first game.
It's cool, but when we got to evaluate it, you got to give honest evaluations. You know what I mean? But I get it. He showed up to class. You know what I mean? But in the NBA too, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like, it wasn't a Joel Embiid-esque game. And again, it was his second game. I get it. But when you have think about it. He didn't start jumping until like the third quarter a little bit. Like, he didn't start doing that. And the thing is, I just feel like they got to get him back. And with Joel said some good things. He said it's the minutes restriction. He's not finding his rhythm. He's not finding his groove. But my question are you got to jump some more? You got to jump. Like, you got to do certain things. Or is that, like, the lateral movement wasn't there all the time. But again, this second game. So we'll see. I'm going to tell you my favorite part about Joel Embiid's night. It's my favorite part. There was a moment in the third quarter where he was like wide open at the elbow. He was again wide open a little bit later at the foul line. And it was visible. Like, Maxey shot a contested three, one of the ones he missed. And he didn't decide to give it to Joel Embiid, wide open all day to shoot there at the foul line. There was another one, I think it was VJ Edgecombe, drove past Embiid to put it in, and again, decided not to go to Embiid. Like, Embiid was getting ignored, all right? I don't say that for drama. I say that just to be as accurate as possible. I'm not used to seeing that in a 76ers game that Joel Embiid's playing in. He was clearly way down the line as an option to score. Now, I do believe that'll change a little bit. VJ Edgecombe alluded to that after the game. I know you spoke to him, and he goes out there and he says, yeah, when we get Joe back, it's going to change a little bit. Well, hopefully it doesn't change too much, because I like what I saw last night. If Joel Embiid can help, then I love it. But here's the best part of last night. Despite that run in the third quarter where he was getting kind of ignored, they had a timeout. They came out again, and then it looked like they were trying to get Embiid a couple of more looks after that. But the best part, Keith, was when the game was over and Joel Embiid had logged 20 minutes. He had 4 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, well below the standard in which we've seen him play. He was one of the first guys out there dumping water on VJ Edgecombe and smiling, laughing, and having a great time with all the other guys. That was of Joel Embiid's night. Yeah, I'm happy he played. But the best part was how he reacted and celebrated like he was a kid enjoying the game of basketball with those guys. I love that. Yeah, that's great. I like seeing that too. But the only thing is, like, it's like Nick Nurse said. Like Nick Nurse said, he did a scrimmage. Now, again, the scrimmage is against G League dudes, right? And then he did a preseason game against G League dudes. So this was his first real competition. Now, again, Joel Embiid has a tendency I shouldn't say tendency, is like what he does is he tends to get better at the more games he plays. A lot of times he'll come out and he'll struggle, or he'll have a bad shooting night, and then the next game, or he looks out of shape, then the next game he's balling. So to me, I'm gonna give him, like, you got to talk about it, but at the same time, is he could come back out and play better the next game, right? Mm-hmm. We just have to find out where he is right now. Who is he? Is he that player, or was he just fearful of moving? You know what I'm saying? Because in the third quarter, he was trying to jump. He was getting in better position. But in the first half, he wasn't moving at all on the defensive end. And he was just using his weight to push people around. But nah, it's cool. But look, I'm going to tell you what, man. Barlow impressed me again. Like when they were struggling. Did you see that and one he got early on?
Yes.
His first, he had 3. Yeah. He got subbed out with 6:36 or something like that left in the first quarter. All 3 of his rebounds were on the offensive end. All 3 of them. And then not only that, Jabari Walker comes in and he's bringing the same energy. Like we're talking about these two-way guys who are the most valuable role players on the team doing all the gritty stuff. It was good to watch.
Barlow had the end one situation in the first quarter. Get another one in the fourth. Yeah, I marked them both. But he missed the free throw in the second one. Sixers were up 109 to 105, I believe, at that point. But still, he got the N1 situation, missed it on the second time. But in the first quarter, his first attempt, he converted the three-point play, the old-fashioned three-point play. But yeah, he did impress me last night. 13 and 8 and 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah. And the 8 was a team high, right? The 8 was a team high.
Yeah. Yeah, I overall liked what I saw. There was, again, when there was some I alluded to the miscommunication you saw a little bit. I thought there was a little bit of miscommunication between him and Bona at one point. I think that's when Walker came in for Barlow at one point. But that's not to be expected. And somebody told me earlier today, the Sixers got lucky last night. I'm like, the hell with that. Sixers earned last night's win. You don't have a night like that from Maxey and Edgecombe, and then Quentin Grimes chips in 10 points off the bench for you. You see the kind of contribution from Dominic Barlow. You don't see a night like that and then call it lucky. Like, are they fortunate that at the end of the game Pritchard missed 2 opportunities? Sure. But the Sixers went through a horrible stretch in the third quarter where they scored in total 18 points, got outscored 35 to 18, including I have the number here, 21-4 run, Keith, by the way. And then find a way to fight back in that game. Tyrese Maxey starts hitting threes in the fourth quarter to open it up. VJ Edgecombe has a 3 at the end of the third quarter. Like, no, they found a way to win that game. I give them all the credit in the world, and I don't attribute luck to it at all. So,
but listen, we got to give Nick Nurse his flowers too, right?
Definitely.
Because what happens is how they did it. When he he closed the game out basically with the small lineup, where he had Barlow moving to the 5 and had Walker out there because, he had him out there. Another thing that I really liked that I saw was, if you think about this in this game, Quentin Grimes looked a little lost early on, right? Looked a little lost, or he just wasn't doing anything, right?
Yeah.
But in that fourth quarter, when all the attention was on Maxey and VJ, big man stepped up and had some big shots. Another person, Kelly Oubre's 3-pointer in that fourth quarter was huge. So to me, I like the way Nick Nurse coached. I like the way that Quentin Grimes was able to step up in the fourth. I like the way Kelly Oubre was able to step up and get that big shot, right? And that's how the Sixers are going to do. How do you do that? The ball moves, right? The ball moves. So, and then guys get uncontested shots and they just have to knock them down, and they work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was another guy that Nick Nurse talked about, Kelly Oubre. I mean, they really got the support from basically everybody on the roster, man. I absolutely loved what I saw last night. I know all of Philadelphia, the fan base, did as well. And judging by what people are saying in the chat, it looks like you guys enjoyed it as well. We appreciate you guys joining the show. Thank you so much. He's Keith Pompey. Make sure you guys are following across all social media. Make sure you guys are reading Keith on Inquirer.com as well. Look forward to breaking it down even further when it comes to your 10-9-8 76ers the rest of this season. Obviously, next up, Saturday night, Keith. What is that, their home opener?
Yeah, it's the home opener against
the Hornets.
Against the young boys.
Keep on cooking.
Yeah,
For Keith Pompey, I'm Marc Farzetta. Thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your next listen, how about to check out Locked On Fantasy Basketball? with Josh Lloyd. He hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast out there. So check out and become a smarter NBA fan while making your team that much better. Check out Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For Keith Pompey, I'm Marc Farzetta. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. See you guys later in the week. Bye.
Peace.